So, past couple of weeks, I've been looking for, or thinking about rather, um, useful ways to potentially have some kind of income. And it was driving me nuts, so I decided to fast for a few days and see if I had any clarity um, on my next direction, all that stuff. It was kind of all over the place, to be honest. Fast literally affects nobody except me. So, like the first day, I ended up calling it and having dinner. But I fasted the first chunk of the day. Then the next day, I fasted, except for we went to the ice cream shop in town, and it's like, yeah, I'll get something. Just still a little stress eating in there for my well, I mean, to not help anything, obviously. So I did that. Then Wednesday, I actually fasted the whole day. And Thursday, I decided I was probably going to call it on Friday and have that be my, like, go till like Friday afternoon or something. Because I signed up to donate platelets again and figured I should probably have a few days of eating again back in my system before trying to do that. Um, well, then some things happened. um, okay. So on the early side of the fasting journey, I think it was Tuesday, there's been this little lady that's been asking me to help her with weeding her flower bed. So, okay, go ahead and do that. I can do that fasting. That's no big deal. I mean, it was hot and I was still drinking a lot, but it was fine. However, there was a lot to it, and I ended up, well, not getting as far as I had anticipated that day, because I started at the bad end of the flower bed. All sorts of thistles growed up and ridiculousness. So she said she would pay me $50 to do the flower bed. No problem. She, she then came back on Monday and sent me a message asking if I knew anybody that she could pay another $50 to trim these two little shrubs that she realized were really overgrown and needed some work. It's like, well, I can do that. That's no big deal. Just whatever. So yeah, it's like whatever. um, the second day when I was over there, I started at the opposite end and worked my way back to the bad area, figuring that way I could get a better gauge of how much else really needed to be done and all that fun stuff. Trim the shrubs as I was going, since I said I would. And that day, Wednesday, she got they have this great big one that runs along the length of the front of the house and down one of the sides. And then they have like these little areas that they have flowers in them, so I was thinking that they were included in the flower beds, and I hit those areas around the trees as well. So I went in to grab another trash bag, and she asked me if I would, for another $25, if I would pull the little seedlings around the trees. It's like, I already did that. I thought they were part of the flower bed, so no big deal, whatever. So she's gonna pay me for $50 to just for the flower beds, right? And then throws out this idea of 75 additional dollars for various additional tasks that I said I could do. Came to getting paid. She only paid me $50. It's like, shit. And I had this moment where it's like, you need to say, you can still pay me more since since you wanted this added on or whatever. It's like, that is not going to hurt my feelings. But I didn't. I resisted because that's what I do. I resist things. And I don't like arguing about money or whatever with people. So yeah, that was a whole lot of work. And honestly, just the section of thistles was more than enough to be paid $50. And then adding on whatever else of the rest of it. But alas, I got $50 for the whole damn job. And then, of course, well, had this little, I guess, thought process about how I need to be a little more insistent maybe on getting paid for the amount of work I'm doing. The way I've always looked at it is, I hate coming up with numbers. How much is it worth to you? And make it worth my while. Obviously, this is not worth my while. So if I get asked again in the future, it's probably a no. But yeah. Anyway, like, that was the big thought, was needing to step up and say something, rather than just letting myself get screwed over. But that's not who I am, so I guess here I go again. But yes, I cried briefly, and I told my one friend what was going on. It's like, oh, she sent me a little message on Messenger, how we were talking about it. It had the crying face, and, oh, so much work for so little money. It's like, yeah. But it is what it is, and yeah. But that night, my friend, she was a friend from roller derby, lives about an hour and a half away, and we had been threatening to get together for a long time and just hadn't followed through and done it. So Thursday, I was watching a show with my mom, kind of being depressed about the whole thing and trying to figure out what I'm doing with anything, being really frustrated with how things were going despite my fast. Usually fasts go a little better for me than they had that week. But yeah. Well, so Roxy's talking, and she sends me this flyer for a local tattoo place that's close to her. And they were having a $50 flash sale, so I was like, do they have any of their designs? And she said, you can bring your own, and they will do that. What was it? But they didn't have any of their designs posted other than like the 3 that were being used in the flyer. I was like, well, that's unfortunate. But anyway, for whatever reason, just in our conversation, things took a turn. And I finally went up to visit my friend, and I spent my $50 on a new tattoo. So here's my little tattoo. I found out when the girl was doing it. Okay, first off, mine was the second in-shop tattoo she'd done since she'd been hired in as an apprentice. Roxy's was the first she had done. We found out as she started tattooing Roxy and telling her that she was nervous, because it was the first in-shop tattoo she'd done. But not to worry, she was 19, but not to worry, she'd been tattooing for 3 years. It's like all this stuff. It's like, okay, well, always an adventure, right? So, no big deal. I thought for an apprentice and being a 19-year-old kid just starting in a shop somewhere, an actual shop somewhere, that she did really good. It's starting to peel. I'll show it again, but his eyes are peeling. But I thought the lines were pretty solid, and she did really good on the shading and like the blacking out those areas. I did not realize it had fangs until she had the stencil on my arm. And it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. So we'll roll with it. Because I wasn't doing anything else. So, as I have done with the facial piercings and these piercings, I decided that if I was going to do this thing, I was going to set an intention with it. So this one, I set with the intention of being more assertive about using my voice and not second guessing myself ever again. You know, just stop it. There's no need for it. So yeah, those were the big things for this one. They said while we were there, Roxy ended up getting 2. The other one she got from another girl that was in the shop. And it was actually a design I'd thought about for like a minute, and then the one girl that I'd already been talking to said, oh, that was the other girl's design. And then the other girl said, well, she has my permission, she can use it if that's what you want. It's like, okay. Well, that whole thing was just kind of weird, so it's like, I don't want to do that. Here, put somebody else's design on me in this first little bit. And this was the one, okay, it wasn't the first one that I saw, but it was the second one and the one I was more drawn to, just because I liked it better. The other was just regular skull without all the sugar skull stuff, and without fangs. But where was I going with that? Oh, the design that I thought about almost did. It's like, well, it was 2 skulls that were done as like cherries, and when I looked at them again, I'm sure it was just how she had it marked for the shading, but they kind of reminded me of testicles at that point. So it's like, all right, let's just back out of that, and we'll just do this other one, because it is the one I liked better, more immediately, and yeah, just roll with that, because I'm trying not to second guess myself, right? So first off, this is my 10th tattoo that I got ever. Uh-oh. Sorry, things about got exciting. I'm sitting out here by this tree in our yard, and there was a bunny started to run this direction, and we had bunnies living under the shed in a bunch of places, so he realized that the dogs were out here pretty quick after that, and he is hauling ass in the other direction to his other hideout. And that is a big ass moon. I don't know if it's completely full. I don't think it's completely full yet. Anyway, sidetracked. So yeah, I decided to go with my original option and stop second guessing myself. Yes. Oh, that's where I was. This was my 10th tattoo ever, and I told Roxy, it's like, I think this is the first one that I did not, mind you, I've done a lot of healing work in the past year, that I did not immediately start stressing out about the idea that this is the thing that's going to send me to hell, right? So I finally healed that thing, and now it's like, yeah, I'm getting this because I want it. And are other people probably going to be annoyed when they find out I got a tattoo and when I haven't had a whole lot of income lately? Probably, but I don't care. You know, this is something I was doing for me, for more intention setting, and so I did that. Yeah. They said while we were there that they're going to do another flash sale for Halloween. Of course, that one was for Friday the 13th. So their big thing had to be Halloween designs, but they would do other flash that was brought in. And I was kind of thinking about it. It's like, all right, so if we're sticking with the Halloween stuff, I thought about like getting like a death card, and then it's like, I've been really drawn to ravens here lately. So what if I put a little vulture, or not raven, vultures lately? Yes, I've talked about them. I did a thing on them. I wrote a thing on them. Yeah, vultures, not ravens. I already have a raven. It's a Halloweeny one, but not from that place, and from pre-Rona. Anyway, so the raven, fuck the raven. The hell? I don't know why I can't talk today. But I can't. So, anyway, is what it is. Vulture. Then, okay, so I'm thinking, I get this death card tattoo, right? And then I'm thinking, maybe I make it 2, and maybe I put like a vulture sitting on top of the death card. And I really like that idea. And then I was thinking, I have some really cool pictures of vultures that I took at the cemetery that one day when I was walking the dogs, and there were 4 of them, and they were just hanging out. So I went back and revisited my pictures. It's like, I bet I could draw that. So I'm actually really proud of how this turned out, even though I accidentally cut some of his butt off. And I'll try not to poke myself in the eye with this pencil. Yes. So this is my little vulture that I drew. And it's not perfect, obviously. I know that. I'm proud of it because I think it turned out even better than I was expecting. I'm going to do another version of it on my bigger sketchbook. Mind you, I've had these sketchbooks and I've never really done anything with them because I never saw myself as an artist. So yeah, like used to, I could doodle horses pretty well, like the horse head anyway. I think I've drawn like full horses, but not ever so much that I got really good at it or anything. And I got really stressed out when I tried to draw a tree back in the spring, because it was this one at the park that had like 3 different, I don't know, it just looked like it had 3 different starting points at the base of this tree, but they were, I mean, obviously there was the whole depth thing, but then I was like overthinking it and shot myself in the foot and just closed off and decided not to do it. This one I'm proud of. Yeah. I could maybe see getting that done on myself as a tattoo because I drew it. That would be new and unusual. That would be fun. I might see about that, honestly, after I fix it and then do it a smaller version even. Because obviously if you're doing the flash sale, it's like 3x3 is what they hold you to space-wise or size-wise. So, yeah. But it's like if I could, it'd be like a twofer. But I would be doing it as 2 different tattoos anyway and just combining them into one. I have freaking paint all over me. I was playing in spray paint today because I finally had an idea for something that, well, other art projects. Okay, at some point in the past year, I had this wild idea of maybe I should make my own little Oracle deck. It's like, well, I don't know what, I'm limited on designs, people. This one was a picture. I might put it on a card somewhere, but I'm not ready to do that just yet. So I was like playing with other ideas and like what I do with, like paint and that stuff. And I play in spray paint a lot, so I decided to try a spray paint route for the design on the back of the cards first. It's like, so far I'm not loving it. But I kind of feel like since I did this fast for inspiration, and I feel like this is a bit of an inspired idea, that I gotta try some different things anyway. So I don't, obviously, here's where I go with that potentially second guessing myself thing, right? So I don't know that the way I did today will be what I stick with. However, it's one starting attempt and it's not done, obviously. Just very much not done. And I have another way I'm going to try it with a paintbrush, but yeah, there's still that. And I still have a wall to finish in my room, and that was going to be today's project. And then I went and got my hair done, and she put some curl in it. It's like, well, I don't want to have to wash the curl out now that she just put it in. This is like perfectly good hairstyle that will work tomorrow. So I didn't want to have to take a shower again this evening when I like how my hair is at the moment. So I didn't want to paint today. And, well, I mean, I didn't want to wear the paint. My hands, I guess, are no big deal because I always wear paint on my hands when I spray paint, because my stupid spray paint bottle, the black one, like, went nuts today and just started dripping down the side of the can. But yeah. Anyway, it's a thought. And I keep hearing these advertisements for this, like on tarot readings that I watch for this company that helps people helps indie artists get published or publish their decks and stuff. It's like worth a shot. And like I said, I don't love what I got right now, but it was a start. It was an idea. It was something more than I'd done. And I still have ideas for like the other side of the card with the information and the guidebook material. Still working on those things. Take some time, right? You gotta try some things to figure out what works for you and what doesn't, and then go from there. And I don't think the spray paint on the back of the cards is my thing right now. It was a leaf. Yeah, I don't know. It was worth a shot. And it is trying something new. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I think that's pretty much the name of the game for my life at the moment. You know, like even this channel. What am I doing? I don't know. Just talking. Talking about stuff and connecting some dots and occasionally probably sounding like an idiot, but hey, that's part of the process, so whatever. If you think I sound like an idiot on my journey, whatever. It is what it is. You know, trying new things. Because I am... This, like the YouTube project, has been the most consistent thing I've done in regards to using my voice. So that's got to count for something right there. And it has changed me immensely for even how I'm able to see myself with everything that's going on in my life and what's next. You know, but I feel like all these different things that I'm starting to play with the idea of, like maybe the point of my process is just the fact that it is a big process, and to help show other people that you don't have to have any sort of set idea or plan. And just because something doesn't necessarily seem to be doing any good on whatever. Yeah, Uncle's out with the dog. Taz! Come here. Yeah, just because it doesn't seem like it's working out yet. Maybe that's just right now it's not meant to work out that way. You know, and I've said on here before, I think one of the... God, slimy. I think one of the biggest pieces to what I am doing is the fact that I'm not quitting, and I'm learning how to trust myself and see things through that, you know, like, okay, obviously there's not a whole lot that has come from the YouTube thing so far. I think I'm up to 12 subscribers. But, you know, it's done huge things for me, and I feel like when I am able to step back and look at how things fit together collectively on my journey, it will make a lot more sense than it even does just the one step at a time thing, which is very important for what I'm doing right now, and learning to trust myself. And now with this added element of trusting myself without second guessing myself all the time, because that's something I've never been good at. My dad and I have talked about it before, where they used to tell him in basic training that don't ever second guess yourself, because chances are if you second guess yourself, you were right the first time. It's like, yeah, that's true. I don't think I heard that exact phrasing or idea when I was in basic, but it makes sense. So yeah, that's what it is. It's getting dark. So, also, my internet is currently down. They are digging new gas line for our area with all the construction they're doing on the road, and they kicked our internet off. So I don't know when this is going to go up, but I will get it there as soon as possible. Not that any of you are going to know until then anyway. Yeah. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I have been being productive. I did take the week off last week from going to the hospital, so that was a whole thing in and of itself that my grandpa was not fond of, apparently. But I said, I think in my last video, that I did have one morning the week before where I basically had this conversation with him that I was done mourning his death before it even happens, because my whole life has literally been about him dying. And he has never considered the fact that he never really got to know any of the grandkids because he was so obsessed with dying. So it's like, that's on him, but I can't spend the rest of my life mourning that. And I feel like that day, just having that conversation with the energies in myself, that was helpful, clearing out some space for me too, and helping me be able to move forward on everything else that's going on, and trying to focus on the new career path, somehow tied up in art, but I don't know how yet. And it's just so weird to be like, I've never considered myself an artist. Still can't say that I really do, but now that I'm playing with art more, I feel like I have to allow myself the space to be open to doing so, because otherwise I just shut off the flow, right? By talking down about it or not supporting myself in the possibility of it. Besides, there's lots of ways that art can happen and does happen in the world, and just because I haven't completely figured out my own, that's, and it's kind of funny. That's something I told Roxy the other day when I was with her. It's like, I feel like I pretty much am my own art project. Like, because, okay, there's always the hair. Something's going on color-wise with the hair. And the makeup, and whatever I'm doing with the makeup. And I coordinate the makeup to some degree with the outfit. So I don't know if I can, or how much of this will even show. Okay, he's inside. Okay, so we went with the Five Finger Death Punch shirt today, and it's got some orange down here. This was one my brother and sister-in-law got me when they were on vacation, and we tie it in with the little skull leggings, and there's my little get it. And then the makeup is kind of like orangey and yellow because it ties it in with the shirt and the pants. So yeah, that's how I do. And then it's like a new project every day. With the exception of the hair, I'm not doing that every day, but I'm trying to find ways to appreciate the color more. So there's that. Anyway, so I am my own art project. But I don't know how to make that one work for me because I really don't care. Like, I'm not trying to get into fashion or anything. I don't care about styling other people up or doing stuff for them. So I am my own project. And I don't know. I kind of have fun with it. It's kind of funny because, like, the shorts and the leggings, that was something I wanted to do in high school, and then I never let myself. I don't know why. I just talked myself out of it. Mainly because I was at the point where I was trying to conform and thought that I had to be something different than who I was to be accepted by my family and by the world at large. That's a big ass heron flying through. Yeah. Now I'm just at the point where I realize it's like I don't care about that anymore. I don't want to live up to other people's standards, especially when their standards are the ones that kept me caged all my life. Yeah. Final thoughts. Do I have any final thoughts? I don't know, but it's getting dark, and I feel like the picture is kind of getting grainy now. So, yeah. On that note, as always, I appreciate you, and until the next time, see you later.